In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the modal verb can. This verb has several functions, and without going into too much detail, I'm going to try and illustrate the key uses for you. Firstly, we use can for something that is possible or to show that somebody has the ability to do something in the present and future. For example, we can speak French, I can swim, I can't open the window in the negative. The other main use of the verb can is to ask for permission or to give it, to give permission. Can I go to the park? Yes, you can. Modal verbs are different from normal verbs in several aspects. I'm going to show you in a moment. The first one is that they don't use an S for the third person singular. That is what happens with the verb can. The second important aspect is that modal verbs make questions by inversion. It happens the same with the verb to be or in some uses of the verb to have we have studied before. For example, you can say she can go in the affirmative and it becomes can she go in the interrogative form. As you can see, the inversion between the subject and the verb is what we have to do to make a correct question. And the third aspect, which is important to learn about modal verbs, is that they are directly followed by the infinitive of another verb. These are the verb without the preposition to. You have to remember that they are not followed and they cannot begin with the preposition to. And now let's move on to another important issue about the modal verb can and the negative can't. We're going to study the different possibilities, the different structures, affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms for the verb can. The first, the affirmative structure, is very simple. As you will see that you don't have to study much because all the persons of the verb are exactly the same. So if you want to enunciate the verb in the affirmative form, what you have to do is to say can in all the persons. So we can say I can, you can, he can, she can, it can, we can, you can, they can. For example, I can speak English, I can go to the park, or many others you can imagine. Let's say I can drive a car, I can ride a bicycle, I can swim, I can type, and so on. In the negative, the verb can is formed by placing not after the verb can. So you can say cannot, but this is not the most frequent spelling of the verb can. The normal thing is to use the contracted form can't, which is much more frequent. In the negative, if you want to enunciate the verb, you would say I can't, you can't, he can't, she can't, it can't, we can't, you can't, they can't. As in the examples, I can't go to the cinema on Friday, I can't play tennis, or the other we have mentioned before, I can't type, I can't swim, and so on. In the interrogative form, you place the verb can at the beginning of the sentence before the subject. As we have said before, we place it is the inversion of the subject and the verb. So we say can I, can you, can he, can she, can it, can we, can you, and can they. If you want to make a short answer, you have to omit the main verb and you use just the auxiliary verb can. As in the example, can you play the guitar? Yes, I can. No, I can't. What you use is the adverb yes or no, depending on the type of answer you want to give. And after that, you place a comma in both cases. Don't forget, because it is important. It's a formal issue, but you have to do it like that. And later, you write the subject, and then you write the verb. You write the verb in the affirmative, or you write the verb in the negative. if it is a negative sentence what you are given. And that's all. It is very simple. Don't forget you use can for affirmative and can't for the negative, and all the persons in both cases are exactly the same. So you don't have to change for the third person singular as it was the usual thing with other verbs like the ones we have studied before. Thank you for your attention.